All right, let's go ahead and move on here because now it is time to bring it on to our discussion. And that means we're going to be talking about the book RPG ROAN, the Pulp Adventure RPG. Now, just a quick heads up here on what ROAN is all about so everybody has a brief, rub up is definitely not the word. Um,
Run through?
Run through, I guess that's a good way to... A quick run through on what it consists of. ROAN is a book RPG that is somewhat loosely based around the 1930s, 40s era. However, it also contains a ton of fantasy elements, including, well, obviously the fact ponies, griffins, diamond dogs. It also contains magic, airships, flying technology, mysterious runes, changelings, rats that are trying to symbolize the evils of the world, and so much more.
And surprisingly, robots and cyborgs.
Even those, even robots and cyborgs, though a little bit more on the cyborg territory or automaton type of area. Now,
there's a fun thing with all those griffins. There's different types depending on what the back half is and what the front half is.
Indeed.
Yep.
But we're definitely not gonna we want to give you a brief overview here before we actually delve into it because there is quite a wealth of stuff. Now, in order to get us prepared for this, I actually set up a book RPG group here consisting of myself, Crazy Matt Captain, Silent Blast, Toakoi, and one other who was unfortunately unable to join us, Torben, who is actually in Germany. Crazy guy, but nice but crazy guy. And I think we just lost somebody.
A lot of good questions.
And we lost. He asked a lot of good questions though, and he definitely helped us get things through as well as definitely testing our own knowledge here. Now I will. Now before we start off, I am going to pose the fact here that I had not done a book RPG in almost a decade since this.
Excuse me. Ooh.
Oh, that was elegant. But I'm not kidding. It's been almost a decade, and previous to this, I had never used the Ubiquity system. The last system I used was the Rifts role-playing and also Dungeons and Dragons. The slowest being, the most recent being Baldur's Gate, a video game. So go figure.
Yeah, which I have been a part of.
So saying I was rusty would be an understatement. But how? Yeah.
The first time we're dealing with it, so we had our ups and downs.
But in all honesty, I think that actually allowed us a really great depth of actually being able to test this out, both for people who haven't been in book RPGs for a long time, newer book RPG players, more experienced ones, and those that are more familiar with other types of book RPGs. So in all
RPGs in general.
Yeah, so it allowed us a great way, a great breadth of everything. And just to sum up everything here right off the bat before we go into depth, everybody enjoyed it. Everybody, yeah, and not a single person here said that they did not enjoy themselves and wouldn't want to play again. Every single person was like, we would love to play more of this. So right off the bat, this RPG actually had some staying power. It was fun, and well, let's go ahead and get started. First a little bit of backstory. As I said, ROAN is a book RPG based in 1940s fantasy pulp fiction. Is a good way to pretty much surmise it. A little bit of magic, a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of everything. Now, the fun thing about the book RPG itself here is that nothing is actually categorized by the show. So, ponies aren't exactly called Earth ponies or Pegasus or... well, no, I think Pegasus and Unicorn are still in there.
Yeah, the Earth ponies are called roadies.
Yeah, the Earth ponies are called roadies. Unicorns and Pegasi actually are there. They also include Nocturnes, which are the bat ponies, of course. Kelpie, which are your sea pony variety, and also zebras. Because zebras is just zebra. What are you going to do? Of course, along with that, as mentioned, they also have other races in this as well. They have the Canids, or Canidites. Canites?
Canidids?
Candidates, thank you. Sorry, I always had a horrible time with that word. The Candidates, which are basically your diamond dog variety, which included all sorts of dogs, everything from the low Chihuahuas and Beagles to your Great Danes and Greyhounds. The Gryphon race was actually really interesting because it was basically a mix and match. The bird half, so it had everything from canaries to hawks to bluebirds, blue jays, falcons, pigeons, what have you. And their felines halves had everything from simple Bengal tigers to not simple; those aren't simple. Simple stray cats to Bengals to cheetahs, everything in between.
Honestly, if I really wanted to represent Kansas, I would just make a Griffin front being a Jayhawk and the back being just a Wildcat.
Yeah. Of course, it wasn't just those races that are there. The zebras are technically their own race. They just work really well with the ponies, or the roan. They're actually called roan in the game. The entire species is roan, not pony. And there's also changelings in there, of a little bit undescriptive there. An entire rat race, which is the epitome of evil. So you got your evil, despicable, messed up part, which nobody likes. And you're just given this whole world right here. The history of it paints really well too. Basically, the Roan was essentially its own empire. It did not have magic, actually. That was the fun thing. It was just nothing but earth ponies initially, and they tried to take over the world and got completely destroyed.
Of course.
Of course. Unfortunately, it even ended up worse than most when they tried to take over the world. Instead of just failing and having to lick their wounds, they failed and became the slave race for everybody else. And not only to drive the point home, they were actually drugged to submission and became little more than just pack mules, for the lack of a better word. So it's really hilarious. It's really awesome there. After a while, though, in the history of things, eventually another big war broke out. Everybody fighting against each other. A big magic burst happens, which causes the Roans to rapidly evolve, starting to grow horns, wings, scales, and etc. Along with that, it actually cleared them of their drug haze, and then the fury, hell hath no fury like ponies that were drugged up and scorned, to say the least. But yeah, I don't want to ruin too much of the history because the book actually does give you quite a wealth of what happened to really paint the background. But let's go ahead and actually get started into the nit and grit of if you're actually playing this book RPG, not for the history of the game, but how the game is played. And of course, starting off, character creation. Now, the first thing I found is apparently Ubiquity actually uses a system where you're given a base attribute point number, 15. That's it. You're just given 15 points to distribute to your attributes. There's no random dice rolling. There's no, okay, you can roll. You have a possibility of 3 attribute points or 18. You just got 15. Distribute how you will, however you want. Now,
Another thing with just the attribute points, those will make what you choose who's your character to be like. Like if you put too much in like strength or intelligence type of thing.
God damn.
Yeah. Yeah, CMC, Silent, do you want to chime in on any of this?
Hold on, let me pull up my sheet so I can remember what exactly.
By the way,
I was
Circuit, don't read
thinking
the
when
chat.
I got
Don't
to
read
that
the chat
point.
right now.
Right. Wait, which chat?
Our chat. This show chat.
Oh.
Do I want to know?
Yeah, apparently you're the bottom.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Hold on, I'm looking at it, boss. Don't click on it.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not sure if I'm trying to click or I don't know what's going on
I was
anymore.
talking about the IRC, dude.
I was looking at the IRC. I'm constantly looking at the IRC. I don't know what you're talking about.
They were talking about 2 of us making out.
What? Huh?
Yes.
Well, whatever. Wouldn't be the first time they had me making out with somebody.
Wait, it was CC doing it.
Of course, it was CC doing it. All right. Anyway,
Guys of Stacy.
all right. Well, any case, for this entire thing, I was actually the GM, so I ended up having to read the book in about a week's time. So that was, it was definitely a hell of a rush for me. And I'm going to be honest, I still have yet to complete the book. I never read the.
Some of us made cheat sheets.
Yeah. I mean, the only things I didn't finish are the locations that they already had, as well as some already created campaigns, and the a small part of the monster encyclopedia that they have. Everything else I did read, though, so I did already have a grasp of everything else, for better or worse. Circuit
But I
pretending.
also noticed something with this. I think we could easily add in like D&D monsters if they don't appear in the monsters themselves.
Technically, any book RPG worth its weight, you can add in anything you want. All it just takes is some creativity and a knowledge of how the two different systems work. But what I did find interesting when I was reading the ROAN character creation, at least, I will get my players here to chime in, since again I was game mastering and I didn't create a character. It looked like the game system itself has an incredible ease on actually creating your character. It doesn't require a lot of dice rolling, random guessing, and you're actually highly encouraged to create what you want. You're not trying to. It's basically not trying to fit a square peg into a square hole so that the team has a fully formed party. You're basically making that peg whatever the hell you want it to be. If you want it to be in the shape of a duck, you go for it.
Yeah,
And something
what
else
I was seeing going through all of the things, it was like, okay, I want to make a character like this. What in the skills list do they actually have might fit this? No. Okay, can I create something that would fit this? Maybe. And they do actually encourage trying to make things to fit into the skills, the archetypes, the talents, and all of this jazz.
Yep, you're encouraged from step one to create the character you want.
Because, heck, with working with trying to make Coles, we did actually try to create cooking. And we found that what would make sense if you're trying to go for, like, a show-offy chef, you want to go for charisma.
Well, charisma and crafting, definitely. We ended up crafting being part of the cooking there. Because you're crafting a meal.
We stayed away from what was marked as the skill of crafting because it didn't seem to fit what the character he was trying to make.
Eventually he did, yeah, but initially he was going for a cooking. But, yeah.
Oh no, this was Cole's character, which...
Oh, Cole! I
Isn't
apologize.
isn't finished.
Yeah, you were thinking of Torben.
Yeah,
Because
Torben was the
Torben-
one that wanted to be like a crazy chef, and I think he ended up actually going into crafting a little bit for that.
He went to crafting, but
No, he wanted to be
I
a-
think he stepped away
like-
from cooking because we couldn't figure out how to make that work at that point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. But
But-
Yeah, so
thing
much
is-
ability to create things, which is how during the last session we actually made a water gun spell.
Yeah, the one big thing is when you can create anything, you literally can create anything. You're even given a basic template of spell creation. You can make any spell you want. However, you do have to make sure you talk it up with the GM as well and have it all set up. And we literally had to create a spell literally on the fly, right in the middle of a battle, in order to help them out, because initially, we did not set aside enough time for spell creation. These sessions, unfortunately, were about 2 to 3 hours long. Book RPG sessions, anybody knows 2 to 3 hours is barely enough time for anything.
Yeah, I was about to say weekly D&D for me was usually about 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah. My case, my time is always so severely limited right now. It's not even funny. It's driving me crazy, but yeah, we did manage to get some things done, and it was interesting to actually create a spell on the fly. And considering the fact that I had to help him create it in the middle of it, and I didn't give him enough time beforehand. Obviously, you know,
Well,
I did the
time
kind
before you,
GM.
I just wasn't sure how to fully think it through because I hadn't gone through that page yet.
Yeah,
Like I still have to go through the item pages to make that staff,
right.
which will be fun.
All right. Does
Yeah.
anybody else want to chime in on their character creations and what they thought of it?
Yeah, mine was simple. Since I've done this at least once before with the coach's magic kind of thing, it was, alright, I want to make a character. What are going to be my primary attributes? Because I already had my race or class of character and what I wanted to do after reading what my character would have to do in order to be healed or recover health. Well, that way, if something would happen, I could easily take care of myself if there was no other thing there. The reason I'm dancing around people is because, if you know me, I'm the robot, so I had to have a mechanic. Since I didn't know if there was going to be another mechanic, I said, alright, I'll be a mechanic myself.
And we ended up having about 2 mechanics and a robot with mechanic skills. So that's the only thing that kind of threw me for a loop there, unfortunately.
I'm stuck with crazy mechanics. Help me, help me.
Yeah, we got 3 mechanics and a water acolyte.
Charging a water gun spell.
3 mechanics, a waterbound acolyte, and 2 of them are pacifists. I can't.
Well, Silent is actually a mercenary. Oddly enough, we are.
Oh wait,
all
no, yeah,
technically mercenaries.
Silent is a mercenary. I apologize, Silent. And I don't know if he can hear us or if he's able to speak.
Is he
or
actually
muted.
connected right now? Yes, he
It,
is
sa-
connected.
it says he's online. He's not speaking though, so I don't know if he's muted.
Hold on, let me check. We ain't muted.
Actually,
Not that muted. Not that muted. I mean, if he's not muted on his own side, like he has his own microphone on mute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in any case, while we're waiting for Silent to continue on further, the character creation. Yeah, that we unfortunately had to spend one session getting the characters created, and in some cases, some people didn't even had a chance to even look at the character creation, so we were starting from scratch. But
Yeah,
we were
that-
able.
That was a good
Yeah,
investigation.
that sounds like D&D there too.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, of
Yeah,
course, the
but-
fun thing is we were able to get the characters created within about an hour and a half for everybody. Which is, that's pretty awesome, really. I remember Rift sessions taking 3 hours just to create a character, but oh dear world, the skill trees were insane on that. And chat
Okay.
room, I know you're... Oh, Silent, there you are.
Yeah, for some reason it fucked up on me.
Alright,
I
well,
do not know
Man.
how.
I don't know
Okay,
either,
so-
man, but go ahead and
Man.
give us your impressions of character creation and everything.
Yeah,
Man.
as I was trying to say before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
the point system, the attribute system, the
Yeah,
easiest,
man blinked is. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
the easiest I can put it as it works like the special system.
I can see that.
Social system?
He's talking about the Fallout special
Oh, shit.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can kind of see that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
yeah, and the reason why I chose, like how I'm
What
the
the
main,
fuck?
the way I see it, I'm the main damage dealer out the group so far, unless Cole
The
comes in.
ship. The ship.
Yeah, pretty much. You are, but considering the fact that you're only... anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit, though, of course.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
this isn't super.
even before we started making our characters, I believe either Silent or somebody put in our little group chat that put what skill and who you are going to be, so we can at least try and balance this out before we go full on. That way we could at least have a good rounded idea.
Right.
Yeah, because
Anyway.
I said, hey, if we have, since it has vehicles and if it has cars and planes, we might as well have somebody who can
Oh.
fix vehicles, fix planes, one who can drive cars and one who can drive planes.
Anyway, just
Since
to
we don't-
jump in here real fast. Chat room, if you do have any questions at all or any thoughts on the, or you want to ask anything, please feel free to post them in the chat room. I am paying attention, despite what some of you think, and I
Okay, sorry.
really do welcome your questions. Of course, the fact is you're talking about scones right now, so whatever. But anyway, our chat room is silly. Let's face it. So, moving right along here.
Okay. We were talking about team balance.
Yeah. Essentially, team balance, you can't create any character you want, and it is encouraged. Obviously, this game also encourages communication, so you don't end up with half mechanics for the team. I say half because Silent obviously wasn't.
No. Fuck.
And there's a random death.
Yeah, no, the fucker is able to teleport us.
Yeah, he teleported me out of my bubble.
Ha! Anyway, moving on.
But yeah, talking about the whole what your character is and what their purpose is, I'm still not fully sure why Torben wanted to be a pony that can fly as a pilot.
Torben's a very unique player, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
I dream of flying, but I can already fly.
Torben is kind of... I dream of flying, but I'm not going to take any piloting skills. So I know how to build an airship, but good luck flying it. I don't know.
Yeah, if we find the mysterious...
Considering
he's going to have to learn how to pilot on the fly.
Considering Torben is basically the equivalent of a filly, fair enough. I'm not going to...
So far, I may have to find a way to learn piloting.
All right, just a couple of quick questions in the chat here. Did I feel limited by the scenario of the 40s? Well, the 40s is kind of the roughest way to post it out, but in all honesty, I don't feel limited by it at all. In fact, the pulp adventure in the 40s is essentially like Indiana Jones or some of those really old adventurous movies where things can get crazy. You can find old temples and ruins or crazy magic or cults hiding out in the basement of a warehouse or a big city with mafia bosses all over the place. I don't feel limited by it at all. It's just different because you're not dealing with dungeons and swords and people clad in armor and dragons. Well, you are dealing with dragons, but...
Yeah.
And you are dealing with some people in plate mail.
Yeah, basically, you're dealing with L.A. Noire meets My Little Pony, and that shit can get crazy.
Yeah, but remember, Circuit, the 30s, 40s, and 20s was basically the era where Batman was killing people.
Yep.
Actually, was Batman really interested in the 40s?
Yep. No, he was introduced in the 30s.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Batman used guns.
It was in the Golden 12 and Bronze Age comics.
Well, I know Superman was. Just Batman was the one that threw me off there. I could be wrong.
No, he gotta remember.
Yeah.
Batman went to war in World War II as well as Superman.
Anyway, we're getting off track here, but yeah, but getting back to the point. No, I did not feel limited at all. I felt, that it was just a different area and thing that we could do to have fun with a different scenario altogether. If anything, I felt a little more free because, it wasn't the typical, here's your dungeon, there's your dragon, here's a bunch of booby traps, you're a rogue, you're an archer, you're some sort of knight with a big sword. No, it's like, you got a gun, you know how to build airships, and you are obviously slinging magic like some crazed maniac. Alright.
And then you got the pacifist robot.
Alright, and Awesome Brony, yes, I just took a look at Batman. Yes, I did see it was created in 1939. So, I didn't know. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know. I wasn't saying that Batman wasn't. I just was caught off guard.
Okay, apparently I scrolled right past in the book. There's also changelings.
Yeah, there is changelings. So they're not called changelings. Everything is called something a little bit different just to avoid possible... They are protecting themselves from possible copyright, let's face it.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how every race has like a tie to every nationality. Because for example, the dogs are Canadians. The Roans are supposed to be American.
Well, they kind of have hints at it. I mean, especially since basically the entire Gryphon Empire feels like a mix between communist Russia and Nazi Germany.
Yeah, you can tell that just by the art style that they use for some of the characters there.
Not only the fact that they consider everybody beneath them and that they should rule the fucking world, so, yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, you definitely can fit. But yeah, there's you could get a good grasp of how everybody is in this game, to be honest. Anyway, moving on. Actually, I got an idea here. I'm gonna bring up the actual book RPG because we do have a PDF of that. But while I'm doing
Yeah.
that, does anybody else have anything to add in regards to character creation before we move on to the next parts?
Other than making backgrounds, nah.
Well, the background was again like pretty much just whatever you wanted it to be, as long as it made sense, of course. If you were a star child that came from an egg and ended up having the miraculous knowledge of the universe, yeah, I'm gonna put a stop to that real fast.
That's the biggest middle
The
finger.
thing I just put in chat was from the Dex's Lab episode about D&D and what most of it is if you don't have a good city.
But yeah, I am going to be scrolling through some pages here of the ROAN book RPG, so you can see some of the artwork that is involved, because there is a lot of great artwork. There's a lot of story involved. It's really, really awesome stuff. Anyway, moving on.
Why don't you show them the NPCs?
Actually, I'm moving on to that. Now, while I'm getting to the NPCs here, now another admittedly thing that I kind of dropped the ball on a little bit. I didn't have the town map created until the next week, and of course, I kind of did a shoddy creation, which was kind of makeshift. Basically, a bunch of blue blocks that, okay, here are your buildings. Yeah, not the greatest, I admit. However, we made it work out well.
We cobbled this together in less than 2 weeks and saying we were going to do it within a 3-week deadline.
Less than 2 weeks, and the fact is that some of us had no clue what in the world we were doing, and we're pretty rusty. So, all things considered, I'd say we did pretty well. But yeah, let's not delve into that. So, the whole campaign started with them in a rustic town. And they went into, instead of just having them meet randomly, I decided to at least give them a little bit of a nudge in the direction. And they were all at the bar looking for mercenary jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they were a little bit hesitant to try to get together here. So I kind of shoved them a little bit more together there just to make sure that they actually got together. I think I pretty much had it, so I think the bartender pretty much was like, you know what, you four keep asking me questions, you're all together. Now go pick a job.
Well, I think it was just us four and then another group that was already looking at something.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys were
at
the
the
only...
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because CMC was looking at stuff, and Silent and I were talking, and then Torben's little character was like, hey, can I join you guys?
Yep.
Yeah, you all were standing up at the bar talking to the bartender. I was staring at the actual board, getting the information.
Yeah, pretty much. And what I actually did for this one, in order to give them all the possibilities of choosing your own adventure deal, I gave them 4 hints to different adventures. Of
One of
course.
which I probably solved in the end of that session.
Kind of. You literally ran smack dab into it, but unknowingly, of course. Okay. But yeah, so what they ended up doing is they all ended up taking a job about noises in a aircraft hangar. Of course, I did the GM thing and voiced the characters, helped them give them little hints and clues, but let them explore at their will. Now, the fun thing that I decided to do for this is I wanted to make it a little bit special. So I actually had them run into a couple of colorful characters, including one very colorful character, if I can ever find
You
her.
can probably, it should be in the table of contents here.
Oh, I'll run into her soon enough. I'm running out of places to look. Here we go. Including one special character that actually is
136.
No, too late.
Yep.
Too late. So, yeah. Apparently Flufflepuff was actually added into the book RPG as an NPC. Couldn't resist. So, yeah, they ran into Flufflepuff. That was fun. Especially since I
just love how all of the things are filled with...
Yeah.
Because why would you want to attack Flufflepuff?
I have no idea, but there's punishment if you do. You know, some book RPGers are cruel. Let's face it. And the other funny thing is, Torben kept trying to hug Flufflepuff, which she didn't exactly want, and she ended up trying to sell Torben a taco for 5 bits. That was kind of hilarious.
She has a lovely weapon. Pillow. Rating, ouch. AP, yes. Cap, lots. Range, not on the horizon.
Not on the horizon. Holy shit.
Yeah.
The only reason you do not fight Flufflepuff is because you will get so messed up, you go, I think I'm alive, but I can't feel a thing.
Flufflepuff is not to be messed with.
It goes to show the poof cannon is in game.
Yeah.
Yep.
But in any case, so they did end up exploring the airship yard, and then near the end of the session.
But CMC went to the church.
Oh right, 3 of them explored the airship yard.
Gathered some more information.
Yeah. Then after that, near the end of the session, they decided to go and check out a bar. Of course, the funny thing about the bar and grill is that was one of the other campaign notices that I was throwing out at them. So they ended up stumbling headlong into another campaign that's going on. So they find out that this bar is actually a front for a drug operation trying to take over a suburb, and it's being run by Griffins. This has actually ended up being our combat scenario that we tried out for a couple of days ago. And I will admit, the combat scenario did not go through so well because we still didn't have any clue what we were really doing to some extent. So it became...
It was so lovely when they all flew out the door.
Yeah, so the combat situation became an interesting case of trial, error, and stupidity. Three of the Griffins, we will commonly, will affectionately refer to them as Furry, Harry, and Low. Screw it.
There were 4. 1 in the doorway, 2 on their way.
Well, there's 5. There was 5 altogether, but 3 of them are going to be Curly, Larry, and Moe. The 3 Stooges. Now, in order to help these guys out, because in all honesty, I thought that they were going to end up eating the food that was laced with narcotics. And
the robot saw through it and went, "Do not eat the food."
Yeah, the robot actually saw it. The robot caught on. So yeah, they were able to save themselves out. But I did have an NPC hiding in the wings to help them out in case they didn't. Actually, vaguely creepy. You actually have a fun joke about that, but we'll get to that in a moment. So first, we're gonna deal with the 3 Stooges. We're going to deal with the 3 Stooges, Curly, Larry, and Moe. Now, the reason they ended up being called that, they didn't have any names. Now, they were running after the NPC character that I had flying around the bar and darting out the door. Now, I was trying to encourage the others to run outside of the bar. Which
I was. And
one of them was, but the other one was running the opposite direction. So, yeah, that didn't work out too well.
I had CMC on my back, and Silent was going after Torben, and it was just a whole thing of Silent running after Torben, and me running out with CMC charging, and then finally, whenever he was able to get it off, all it did was cause, I'm going to call the one that slipped, Larry to slip and crash into Moe and Curly.
Yeah, essentially what ended up happening is 2 of them were trying to chase after one NPC with a 3rd one that was having a really tough time just trying to get through the bar. I'm not kidding. This guy kept tripping over everything with the way it was being rolled. And yeah, then the back pony, which we'll call Pony Pain, because essentially he ended up flying into the bar backwards, shooting one of them almost to the point of death. And then the other 2 one of them ended up sliding on the patch of ice into the other 2 and knocking all 3 of them outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially the 3 Stooges were trying to get themselves together and ended up completely clobbering themselves. Granted, I also made sure that they stayed outside once they got outside like that because I felt like the party wasn't going to be able to survive 5 Gryphons against 4 player characters and an NPC, which didn't exactly turn out the way I thought, because then we turned to our other 2, which we will call the Sheriff. We will call one of them the Sheriff because he literally shot and he missed. And then he shot again. And he shot again, and then he shot again, and he missed. And he shot again. He hit something this time, but it didn't do any damage, so I guess he missed. Then he shot, and then he got shot at, and he was kind of sad. Ended up bleeding. Didn't get a popsicle. He just kind of started bleeding there.
I just gotta say, it was worse than it's sad when stormtroopers outshoot you.
Yes. So yeah,
We need the video.
Shot
No,
and he missed.
I honestly just said, Mike, get the video.
Shot and a
Don't
miss.
do
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah. Shot and a miss. And a miss. Shot and a shot and a miss.
Then
Just,
I had a
it was
popsicle.
terrible. It was.
Then I passed out.
Yeah, it was terrible because we basically reenacted that with how bad it was. For several turns, shot and a miss, shot and a miss.
Yeah, and another thing is, I was playing my character very well. I was being my pacifist self, and I only wanted to knock somebody out because they were shooting at my friend.
And the really sad part is about that whole Gryphon. He had a really high attack power and marksmanship. So he was supposed to be harder to kill. He was supposed to shoot a lot more accurately, and he kept missing. I don't
And we have it on archives and circuit. Please, get the editing team on this and just let them have a field day with some of this stuff, because it would be a fun video.
I'll talk to Creature about it since he is our editing team, but I believe he might be having to deal with a lot of stuff, so we may end up having to be an editing team of me. And I'm not sure how well I can go about doing that, so we'll see what we can do, but it was messed. Yeah, sometimes the dice just doesn't want to cooperate. It was terrible, but yeah, they ended up taking out 2 Gryphons that were bleeding in the bar. One of them flew away before he could start dying. And the other 2 obviously panicked and ran as well, or that's the story I'm going with it. Yeah, some of this art is pretty terrifying. Some of this art is really, really messed up. But that's because the rats are evil, horrible, messed up creatures. And this game, it does not pull punches in some cases. It's not all cutesy. Because you are dealing with a very changed world.
You're dealing with the world where if there is no Celestia, there is no Luna, there is no God.
Well, we don't know about that.
Well,
But you get what I'm meaning with that image.
Right. Any case,
there's the Church of the Six.
well, let's go ahead and move. Well, the Church of the Six is more as an ideology and thought rather than religion. Any case,
as it says in the readings of that, some of them are theistic and some of them are atheists, but they're still both following the path of the 6.
Yep. Any case, we don't want to. Let's go ahead and freeform here a little bit. And again, chat room, if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them out. And we're gonna rewind this all the way back to the beginning here. And what did you guys?
No, we mean throw them out. So find a trash can, write it down, find the trash can, and throw them out.
Right. Any case, we'll go back a little bit into the back to our group here, and starting off with the first person that we have on our list here, Crazy Matt. What are your full thoughts on ROAN altogether? Your ups, your downs, if you have any problems with it as well, anything at all. Just lay it all out on the table for everybody here.
You like?
Character creation, quite nice, but the only things that I've looked at before sort of had a more structured, here are your skills, here are your sub-skills, deliberately choose, such that this free-forming, being able to choose and create things kind of threw me off a little.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice and interesting trying to work through all of that.
True. It is a little overwhelming when you basically are told, okay, you go wherever you want, and a lot of RPGs are, whoops, sorry. And
Well,
a lot
that's
of
part
our
of why I still haven't figured out the history and personality parts of mine, because I still have to work through that in my head, which is much easier when I'm given a set. This is what you can do, so make it fit this set.
Dude, why don't you just say that you were an orphan that was brought into the House of the Sick?
I already have something stirring in my head. I was actually thinking of introducing that into the what I was suggesting for this next session. Just sit down, character development,
And chat.
talk.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
actually seems like that is definitely it. And we are still doing that Friday, right?
well, I don't know about this Friday, but we're definitely going to start making plans for a more permanent group gathering. Of course, yes.
Okay, just double checking.
Well, mostly because this Friday I'm gonna be like knee deep in Crystal Mountain when I wish. No, in Salt Lake Comic Con.
We know.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So there's Crazy Matt's thoughts on this, or did you have anything else you wanted to throw in there real fast?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I think the only thing else I have to say is Kelpies are awesome. Beautiful.
Kelpies, of course, being sea ponies. Kelpies are, of course,
Yep.
the sea ponies.
Yeah,
Well, the sea
and
ponies
it-
that can, instead of like sea ponies as you think them, like in Gen 1, they're actually, they've got the 4 hooves and a fish tail.
Yep, and they can walk on land and everything.
Still have to figure out how to work those flaking scales into my situations.
Did we just wait? Like, did we just beat somebody named Bruce?
Well,
I
you know,
don't know. I forgot his name.
I could swear his name said Bruce.
well, while
I
they're,
don't know.
I guess while they're trying to figure out Bruce, well, let's
Crazy
go
Matt,
ahead.
I guess you could use it as like a sickness or something.
Yep.
Uh,
Let's
well,
go ahead and move to
Instead,
silent.
picks charisma rolls.
yeah.
But yep, silent.
Yeah, the combat so far, from what I experienced Saturday, it was pretty easy. Although for my dice rolls kind of sucked ass for the first few sessions. Since it works from what we were going on, we were going with pass fail system. Pass fail if you have like how many odds or how many evens. What
Right.
you call.
Right. Yeah. It's basically it's kind of a pass fail where you rolled based on.
That's something we didn't mention.
Yeah.
Like in D&D, you have roll your d20, and however high you get, that's how you do. This is, you've got so many skill points, you roll that number of dice, and you have a pass-fail system, even odds.
Yep. You choose which one you want, and if you get enough to overcome the difficulty, you're good.
Yeah. And other than that, I kind of look forward to Circuit actually making more maps while we continue sessions.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
And
That'd be
hope
good, even if they're just bad stick drawing maps.
and if it's like if we're going from city to city, I also made it the point of that besides being a mercenary of the group, besides being the damage dealer of the group, I'm also the wheelman of the group. So I'm the only person that actually knows how to drive.
Well, currently you're the only adult that isn't a robot.
Pretty much.
I need an adult beeper. Not that adult.
I need a dog. Not that.
I need medical transportation. No, okay.
I have a medical
Matt,
kid
remember,
and
Linda Rodriguez is 4 years old.
Yeah, true.
All right. Well, in any case, getting back on track here a little bit, or how little we can ever get on track. All right.
There's a track here.
I'm surprised too. All right. Any case, finally, let's. Well, not. Yeah, but is it finally? Silent. Did you have any other things to add?
Not on the top of my mind. Other than other than me being the only unicorn of the group. So far, we have a rope. So far, the group is a robot, a kelpie, and a bat pony.
No, 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 no.
Let's see
I'm sorry, somebody
where the
hacked you.
adventure takes everybody.
Yeah.
I know.
Where the adventure will take us, and the places of uncharted space and all that fun stuff. Blarg.
Fun stuff.
Indeed.
Very fun stuff.
All right, and finally, Toakoi, your thoughts.
I honestly think this is one of the best systems because even if you don't want to be ultra creative and create your own character, you can do other types of characters that you already know. Like, I mentioned the cyborg aspect of being in the character creation. You can make Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist as your character. As hot-tempered, be as ticked
That's
off
a little
about being cut
unimaginable.
short. I know, but
We'd encourage a little more imagination, but you can.
yeah, that's what
I
I'm
like
saying.
the idea you can. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But there's also the whole thing of you can, again, I'm sticking with the robotic side because that's something that you don't really see in like D&D. You do have something similar to that, like with magic and mage type thing, but not technology because of time period it's set in.
Technology.
And yeah, but also as a robotic character, you have augments similar in Deus Ex with how they do their augments. You can fly as a robot. You can actually taste in this game as a robot. So it's kind of like the whole, you can make a living robot, but not just have to say, oh, I can't eat because I'm a robot. No, you can actually eat. Sorry if I stick on that.
I can eat. I can eat. I'm human. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
Oh my
I can
god.
Next,
I can fight!
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Damn.
I can eat
Circuit
these.
next.
I can eat these.
Circuit next character. I'm making steampunk Adam Jensen.
Yes, yes. But again, see right there, I just mentioned one thing, and it's like, oh, I can do that. That's what I love about this system and about this game. It's like,
I never
Why?
asked.
yeah.
You did.
The only thing I would want to see added into this is being able to create like a dragon character type of class, and not just be a mindless beast,
Who
similar to
knows?
how we've seen trade in the show and like definitely Gauntlet of Fire showing the more. I want to say human aspects, but you know what I'm trying to get at here.
Ah shit! Now I remember what I was thinking of. But Toe, you finished.
Basically, this is a good game if you just want to go, alright, let's just throw all these characters that we know as ponies and let's see what happens in this world. Type of thing. That is one of the best ways I can describe this. Hey, you want Adam Jensen to meet Edward Elric? Hot damn, you can do it! And they don't have to worry about going into their backstories. They can just meet each other, have a badass fight, and then part ways and end that campaign.
I'm probably not gonna do that though.
I know, but I'm saying, for others that may go, I don't know if I want to create a character. Well, then base it on an existing character. It's the whole thing of what you can and can't do in this, and here there's almost nothing you can't do minus like dragons or something along the Minotaur route. That type of thing.
Just don't make.
Alright. Well, in any case, we got a little bit of time left here. I've been keeping an eye on the chat, but nobody's really throwing too many questions
Oh
here.
yeah, Circuit. Here's what I was gonna say. Oh guys, if you get
Man,
this
I
book,
got the
be
best seat in the
careful.
house.
There are typos galore in this.
Well, there are a few typos, but this isn't like exactly
Oh, typo never really hurt anybody.
no. But this isn't like a big, heavily funded thing. This was a kickstarted campaign that ended up actually getting to the point where they were able to make enough money to do hardback prints as well as PDFs that you can buy and use for yourself. Of course, I do highly encourage
Hey,
people.
Blake, how you doing?
And there he goes.
All right.
Damn
Well,
it.
any case, getting back into the main book here, the ROAN website. At the moment, they do seem to be completely out of hardback books. Though they are trying to get more. They do have PDFs that you can buy through Drive-Thru RPG. If this does intrigue you in any way,
damn it.
I highly. Oh boy.
Oy vey.
He's tried pushing me off a cliff twice and missed both times.
No, the first time I wasn't being serious about it. I just jumped at you. The second time I was actually trying to push you, you jumped.
Justin, bye bye.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
All right. Anyway,
That's
Blake,
okay.
I think we're getting close to video time, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up here.
Yeah. We'll end here. It was fun.
Yeah, I got some good questing done, so.
All right. Any case, just finished wrapping up. Yep. The ROAN RPG. It's fun. It's not expensive. I believe the PDF is about $20 if you buy it online. The book itself was $35 for me, though I think they're selling it for $50 as well, just because of shipping costs. Though you may be able to pick it up at some of the big Brony conventions. I actually got mine at BronyCon. Otherwise, if it does interest you in any way, I highly recommend checking it out, especially since it is a self-made RPG that lends itself a lot more into being able to do what you want with it, as opposed to just being stuck with how the campaigns are initially created. And, you know, we all had fun with it. That's the big thing. We all had fun, and that's what's important. So, yeah, just check them out, roanrpg.com, or just roanrpg in Google, easy enough to bring up. And, of course,
Yeah, I kind of hope this does get like expansion books.
Oh, definitely.
it probably will if it gets enough attention at least, but, you know, that's what we're doing here. We're letting people know that this exists, this was fun, and it should definitely be checked out. So, that is going to do it for the discussion here for ROAN RPG. It definitely was one of the more bigger projects that I've had to work on. Usually, with any pony project that I had on the show, I would put effort. I'm not gonna lie, I am putting in effort. Normally, though, I would maybe do about a week or two of effort. This took an entire month and a whole lot of reading. So this is
And a lot of planning.
a lot of reading, a lot of planning, trying to work around schedules. This was one I had to work a lot to get together, and I am glad that we got a chance to actually do a full review of this for everybody.